Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. So today I am doing a contour and highlight routine using only drugstore products. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is actually setting my under eyes. I already did that with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. It's a big name. But I am going to take my two Wet n Wild contour palettes and I'm just going to set my under eyes using the Morphe E48 brush. And I'm just going to dip into the banana shade and the other lighter shade in the other palette. And right off the bat I did notice that they were really powdery and they just kind of like wipe away really easy. So I haven't tried using these powders to actually set my concealer, so I don't know how that really works because I'm actually kind of scared to do that, but I will definitely try that. So I'm just going to move on. So I'm going to move on to this palette, which is the Caramel Toffee one, and I'm just going to mainly be using this one to contour and bronze my skin. And so to go ahead and bronze my skin, I'm going to use the Morphe E51. It is just a domed fluffy brush. I really love this for bronzing, so I'm just gonna dip into this, and it's really pigmented. I probably got way too much, but I'm gonna run this across my temples first, and I'm gonna run this across my forehead first and onto my temples. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more, and then I'm going to run it across my cheek to just bronze. I'm not really contouring yet, just to give my skin some color. So I'm just going to continue bronzing, and I'm also going to bring it down over my ear so my ears are the same color, and under my double chin. Just to kind of blend everything down my neck because, just to kind of blend everything down on my neck so my neck matches my face and my body and etc. So I'm just going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And I really love this palette. I've been using this one over my lighter one that I got because I just like the warmer tones to bronze and contour my skin lately. I actually tried using this one, or actually this one I guess you say, to contour with, and I noticed that when I was contouring and started blending it out, it looked really gray and ashy on me. So I'm not really happy with that. So I've just been using this one to bronze and contour. So I'm gonna finish bronzing and make sure I get my ear and down on my neck. Now that I've bronzed my skin, I'm going to move on to contouring, and I use the same brush to contour as I use to set under my eyes. I just wipe it off on a little towel that I have here. So I'm going to start with my nose. I know my nose is pretty skinny, but I like a lot of color. Well, not a lot of color. I like color on my nose, so it's not like stark white in the middle of my face. So I am just going to get it on the little tip of the brush, the same powder that I used to bronze, and I'm going to run it, it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. I'm just going to run it down the sides of my nose. I still have a lot of powder on this. And across my nose. I'm not really contouring. I'm just trying to put color in the center of my face. So the center of my face isn't too white compared to the outer perimeters of my face. So now that I have color on my nose, I'm going to go in with the warmer shade, again the same palette that I've been using, on my Morphe E48, and I'm going to tap that off because it's extremely pigmented. So usually to contour, you'll want to start at the top of your ear and go to the corner of your mouth, stopping about where your iris, I guess you could say, and the arch of your brow. So if you just take your brush, and you can feel, you're supposed to do it right under your cheekbone, so if you take your brush and put it up here and roll it down, you will feel your cheekbone, and then you just angle it towards the center of your mouth, again stopping about right here. So I'm going to stop mine about right here, and then I'm going to blend up, because if you blend your contour down, then it's just going to bring your face down, and it's going to defeat the purpose of contouring, because contouring and highlighting, with contouring you want the areas to be darker that you want to recede in, and then with highlighting you want the areas to bring out. So if you blend your contour down, this whole area is gonna be in. I don't really like that look for my face. So again, I'm just gonna start at the top of my ear under my cheekbone and blend down and stop about right here. And I do go in circular motions, and this is a warmer powder or a warmer bronzer to contour, so I'm not necessarily contouring, I'm just adding shadow. And it is okay to bring it on the apples of your cheeks. I like to do that because it helps bring out my cheeks, because I don't have really big cheeks. I just have kind of, I don't even have fat there, I don't think, but I don't have really big cheeks, so I like to definitely define my apples of my cheeks. And so if you can see the difference from this side is just bronzed. This side has more of a contour, and I will blend it out. I know it's probably looking a little crazy, but I'm just laying down color and then I'm going to blend it out afterwards. So I'm just going to move on to this side. Again, going from the top of the ear to the corner of the mouth, stopping about right here. And for some people, I like my contour to be a little up higher than under my cheekbone, because my cheekbones actually go down here, and I notice after blending and after my makeup starts to fade throughout the day, it just starts breaking down. So I like to keep mine actually closer to the top of my cheekbones, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to continue to do this and I always make weird faces when I do my makeup. I don't know why. I think we all do though. So I have both the sides of my face contoured. As you can see, it is a pretty sharp line, and I do like a heavy contour. I know it probably looks a lot more extreme on camera than it does in person, but just make sure. And I don't have that big of a forehead. If you have a bigger forehead, like, I don't know, a 4-finger forehead or a 5-finger forehead, then you can definitely take your contour powder all the way across your forehead to recede to make your forehead look smaller. But I don't really need to do that. Sometimes I run it across just to add color to my face. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take that powder and define my jawbone. And my jawbone doesn't really stick out much. It just kind of is like flush to my neck. So I like to define that. So I'm going to put shade in the areas, and especially to try and hide my double chin, in the areas that I want to define. And again, go over my ears so my ears aren't a different color. Now that I have that done, I'm going to go back in with my bronzing brush and just blend everything out. There's no extra product on this at all. You can actually wipe it off if you want, but I'm actually going to take the more pointed side of the brush and pull that to my skin and gently blend it out. Again, trying not to blend out trying not to blend it down. Now that I have that done, if you want to, you can take your setting powder and actually, like, here, I'll actually do so if you want a more harsh contour, you can take your setting powder and actually do the baking method under your contour to have a sharper line. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys. I don't tend to do this too much, but I'm just going to take a little bit on my beauty blender, and I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the edge of my beauty blender, and you can put powder under your contour, kind of like that, and you can just let it bake for as many seconds or minutes as you want. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it off, and even that helps sharpen the line of my contour. I might as well do the other side so it doesn't look, I don't look wonky or whatever. If that's a word. I don't even know if that's a word or not. So now that we have our contour on, I'm going to move to blush, and the blush that I am using is the one that I hauled, my Milani Romantic Rose Blush in 01, and I'm going to use that on a Morphe E3. Use it for blush. I don't know what it's used for. You can use this brush for whatever you want, so I'm going to dip a little bit into the powder and knock my brush in the powder. And then with your blush, if you want your apples of your cheeks to come out more, you can definitely place your blush here. And with your blush, you really don't want to bring it too close to your nose, because it's going to defeat the purpose, and it's going to accentuate the redness around your nose, because we all get hormonal redness around our nose, especially us girls. So I like to keep mine on the apples of my cheeks, not going in too far. To help define your cheekbones, and you can bring your blush all the way back here. I kind of do both. I just put it all over my cheek basically. So I'm just going to put my blush back here first. And then I make this really weird, I don't know, face to put it on the apples of my cheeks. You can smile. A lot of people smile and do it, but I just make like an angry face. I don't know. So again, keeping it more back toward the cheek and not too close, because you definitely don't want to get blush all the way in the corner of your nose. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the other side really quick. And if you want to, you can also run a little bit of blush over your forehead and on your chin. And I put blush over my nose. And so another thing that I like to do with my bronzer, I actually forgot, is I like to place it under my lip. And by doing this, placing shadow under your lip will make your lip look poutier. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't know why I forgot. I guess I got caught up in what I was doing. To make my lips a little bit more pouty. And you don't want to do that on top of your lip, because that kind of defeats the purpose. On top of your lip, you want to highlight it, and then underneath it, if you can probably see, you want to recede it so your lips look fuller. I'm going to move on to my highlight, and the highlight that I've been using is Mary Luminizer by the Balm, and I'm going to use that on an M501 brush. And what I like to do for my highlight is I like to spray my brush. I like to spray my brush and then go into the product to give it more of a wet look. And when you highlight, you want to keep it on top of your cheekbone. Highlighting, you want to keep your product on top of your cheekbones. And if you bring it down too far, if you have pores like I do, it's just going to accentuate all the little lines and pores that you have. So I'm going to spray my brush again. And go into the product, and I don't know if you can see probably in the light or not, but I really love this product. I got mine at Kohl's actually, and it's not too expensive. And also you can bring your highlight over your brow and around your temples, kind of like a little heart right here around your face. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to bring it, and I also bring mine in the center of my forehead, just a little bit. I don't want to do too much because I am oily, and wherever you highlight, if you highlight on your chin and you're already oily, it's just going to accentuate the oils when you when your skin starts to get oily. So I don't highlight my chin. I just highlight everywhere that I am more dry. Highlight everywhere where I am more dry. My forehead doesn't get that oily. So, and I keep spraying my brush because I want it to kind of stick, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take the little point of my brush and dip into the product and tap it off. And I'm going to run that down my nose. And then across my nose, and highlighting this area of your nose will definitely make your nose, this part stand out more. So if you contour the sides of it and then you highlight this side, and make your nose look smaller and more like a button nose, I guess you could say. Also going to highlight the top of my lip again to make, sorry I keep spraying this, to make our lips look more full. So I'm going to go in. And now that we have our highlight on, it does look pretty dramatic, but I like my makeup more dramatic. And you can definitely do this more subtle, or you can find a more subtle highlight if you choose. You can see the different textures and layers we lay down. You have your contour right through here, and then you have your blush, and then you have your highlight, which is pretty poppin'. Highlight on fleek. No, not really. I don't know if you can even see that or not. But in person, highlight is on fleek. I just step back and I look at my face and see if I would like to add any extra bronzer or clean up where I may have dragged the highlight down too far, or if my nose is too shiny. I definitely go over it with just any brush. I just go over it with the one that I contoured with. You definitely feel like you need more or less, you can. I like to do mine pretty dramatic. That's just how I like to do my makeup. So I know my contour is probably a little more dramatic than you would do, but you can just stop and stop at the point where I just started bronzing my skin, because that definitely alone will accentuate your cheekbones. Or if you already have bigger cheekbones, you don't necessarily have to contour as harsh as I did. I just like before, you can just refine it or add more if you want to, how you do your makeup. This is just how I prefer to do mine. So that is it for my contour, highlight, and blush routine. And I did only use drugstore products, so I hope you guys really appreciate that, because sometimes I hate, well, not sometimes, most of the time I hate when I watch people do their makeup and everything is extremely expensive, and I'm like, hey, I want that, whatever they're using, and then they say what they're using, and I'm like, no. So I did everything was Drugstore except for my powder, which you don't really need to bake under your contour unless you really want to. But again, I only do that for special occasions, or if I know that my makeup may be going somewhere that night, if I'm gonna be out a long time. So thank you guys for coming back to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe and tell your friends and family, and leave comments below if you have any suggestions, and I will see you all next time. You guys have a great night or day from wherever you're from, and I will see you all next time.